Hello everybody and welcome back to the World Cyber Arena Open League Finals for Hearthstone. I'm TJ, once again joined by Dart. We just got done seeing Jason take out Chalky 3-1 to advance to the WCA Finals at the end of the year. It's a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable match. We saw that Jason brought 3 decks that we know he's used in the past. I would say for probably the past year in almost every single tournament he's been in. And Chalky brought 3 decks that, in general, we don't see that he's more accustomed to.
Yeah.
And it may have shown because Jason, I would say, dominated. Chalky played very, very well, but Jason just knew the matchup so perfectly and down to even the fatigue amount that he was able to win each of the games.
Yeah, we didn't even get to see what Chalky's third deck was. I would have guessed it's Freeze Mage. Chalky is a pretty prolific Freeze Mage player, but nevertheless, Jason is moving on. So we'll see him later on today as he plays for the finals. He did qualify for the World Cyber Arena at the end of the year in China, but he will still play later in the day in the finals for prize pool for the Open League Finals for North America. Next match we're going to see is Purple versus Brainboy. Purple, of course, on Gamers Origin. He got an invite to this event because of his top 4 finish in the Americas Championship. Brainboy, on the other hand, he made it all the way through the Open Finals, just like Jason.
And it looks like we are started already into game number 1, where Purple is playing what looks like a Dragon Priest.
Wow!
Against Brainboy, which I would have to... Oh, it looks like a mid-range paladin. Not a secret.
Nah, I got a lot of respect for you, Brainboy.
Now, here's a question. This is... Who do you think has advantage in this matchup? This is one that I would say is very, very close.
Very close. Now, I think Dragon Priest definitely has an advantage against Seeker Paladin. As long as they curve out well. Of course, Dragon Priest is always based on, its strength is based on how it curves out, because it is sort of like a tempo deck. But I don't know in this matchup, because mid-range Paladins have a lot of tools. They can space out their threats. The hero power can go a long way in this matchup. Once it gets to the later points of the game, it gets more grindy. The thing about it is they can't get overrun early on, or they need to have comeback tools in the mid-game like Equality, in order to, put the pace back into their own favor, because Dragon Priest can run away with the game.
But here we see that both Purple and Brainboy have their perfect turn 1 card. We see that Purple does have the Whelp. Meanwhile, Brainboy has the Zombie Chow.
Yep.
So this is, I would say, a little bit advantageous for Purple in that he actually has the ability to heal his minions. However, Brainboy has a few good follow-ups here. He has the Knife Juggler, which obviously can contest the 2-3 here. And then if he ends up not contesting it, let's say Purple decides to run it into the Zombie Chow, plays Northshire and heal, he could get very much punished by a potential muster for battle, for even an Alder Peacekeeper can make a big difference.
Or, he can rip a Velen's Chosen off the top, which can just trade into both. Velen's Chosen, super tough to deal with.
That is exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. And now he can, utilize his Velen's Chosen to start cleaning the board. If he picks up a Dragon next turn, he can even play the Twilight Guardian with that full Battlecry benefit and hide that Velen's Chosen behind something. He can heal it up with Northshire Cleric. Of course, you can't forget about the spell power that Velen's Chosen provides, so later on, if a Holy Nova is drawn.
Now we can see he has, Brainboy here has a few options. One, he can Outdoor Peacekeeper and make it a 1-4. However, that still contests not Zombie Chow. Meanwhile, his other option, he could use an Equality here in order to fully wipe it off the board, and even possibly coin out a 1-1 minion just to have something out of the board. Do you think he's going to use the coin here? Or?
I think the coin is way too powerful. If it draws into Muster for Battle, it means he can get Muster for Battle Quartermaster out a turn earlier, or on turn 5, he can Murloc Knight Hero Power.
Oh no, we see that Purple draw his second Shadow Word Death, which is not really the most effective card in this matchup here.
Not at all. And
do you imagine that Brainboy, even though it's not something you want to do alone most of the time, drop his Murloc Knight? It's the Dragon on board only has a 2 attack, so it won't be able to actually contest it.
All right, well, he actually decides to go for the Muster for Battle, and not coin. Really hesitant about playing that coin. I guess if you coin out a hero power on turn 4, you pretty much give away the fact that you have a Muster for Battle.
He wanted to reduce the opportunity for Purple to have a or to not only have one, but be so willing to use the Holy Nova.
Yeah.
So this Quartermaster will get a decent amount of value. The question is whether or not he uses it to kill off the 2-4 Dragon on board, leaving his minions up with 1 health, or just kills off these Clerics, crippling Purple's card draw for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he did get 1 card out of each of those, and Quartermaster is one of the best cards you can steal with Cabal Shadow Priest, other one being, of course, Shielded Minibot. in the Paladin matchup. So it actually doesn't work out too poorly for purple. He's still able to have a stronger board. He has Dr. Boom coming in on turn 7, and he knows that 1 equality is out of the way. 2 equalities usually pretty rare, right, in mid-range Paladin?
And now he's Brainboy is just not in a good position. He's fighting, but trying to fight back against a class that is the best at trading in the game. If they trade favorably, their hero power allows them to heal back the minion and just like, okay, nothing happened. I just killed one of your things for free.
Let's
keep
nuts.
Going.
Playing a board control game against a priest can be agonizing at times, because you know that if you don't get a big lead, then their board's they're definitely going to be able to run away with a lot of their games just by having a strong board.
Follow the rules.
So we're going to see the Outlaw Peacekeeper down.
Quickly.
Just a hero power.
Reporting for
It's not that strong of a play, and if you look at his hand, it's really not that strong of a hand.
That Dr. Boom is going to do, unfortunately, well, I would say a lot of damage, but Brainboy does have the big game on her. The question is whether or not the boom bots make the big difference here.
Boom bots have been on point today. We've only seen 2 Dr. Booms, but both of those Dr. Booms boom bots have just wrecked.
For 1/1 minions, those things can do a lot of damage.
Yeah. If Boombot was just like was a 3-mana card, would you play it?
Consider it.
3 mana?
Consider it. If
it's 1 mana, I'd include it. It's like being automatic, pretty much.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd play it as a 1-mana card?
Yeah.
There's too much RNG. I'm so scared. Then it would be like the Flame Juggler effect. Wherever you needed to do the 1 damage on a minion, it goes face.
Yeah. Well, that one goes face for 2, which is not the best.
I've got the
And Big Game Hunter is going to line up quite nicely.
Whether these are going to ping the Boombot off?
reporting for duty.
Does it hit it? 33% chance. Oh, and unfortunately it does not. So here we see Purple has a few options. He could use the Worm Restoration with the Azure here in order to continually buff up his board, and I have to imagine that's what he would do.
Are you mocking me?
The question is, he had the opportunity to actually use the Azure Drake to draw a card for first and foremost, which a lot of people say is something that you should always do. But what card would Purple draw that would actually change his mind here? So I really don't think it makes much of a difference.
Yeah. And Purple does have a really good combination of cards against mid-range Paladin with the Sylvanas and Shadowboard Death. If they can isolate a Tyrion, it's a huge swing. Tyrion's a card where it's worth it to use a 2-card combination in order to get Tyrion off the board because of the impact that it can have in this matchup, which essentially at the end comes down to that board control matchup. But there is not very many ways for mid-range Paladins to deal with Ysera, and it has come down on the board.
That quality's gone. That Ysera is going to last either the rest of this game, or Brainboy's just going to concede.
Yeah, I mean, he can get try and get a lot of value of this Murloc Knight.
Murlocs are great, but they don't compare to Ysera.
That's a good snowball card for Murloc. And, he will be able to sort of isolate this Ysera, force it to go into the Sludge Belcher, but this is going to be tough. And
this is definitely awkward because now these Murlocs will start multiplying. There's no doubt about it.
yeah.
And that's when the point, yes, Ysera is great, but the Murlocs are pretty strong.
I mean, 2 Dream cards is actually really good.
Now, I have to imagine, what if Brainboy actually got another Murloc Knight off of that Murloc Knight? I feel like that was one opportunity for him to come back here.
Well, we'll see. Murkai would be decent as well. Golden Oracle is one of the worst. And there's some worse, like Grimskill Oracle, soon to be the Tiny Fin.
Oh, the little baby one, the Wisp one.
Yeah.
That one's so cute. How can you ever kill it off?
Yeah, I don't know.
I really can't. Okay, what's the new Paladin Murloc spell? Is it Anything Can Happen?
Anything can happen.
I am excited for that card.
Yeah, there was another one too.
Every Fin is awesome.
Yeah, Every Fin is awesome. Yeah.
I love Blizzard when they make names like that. That's so fantastic.
It's like they decided the 10 people out there that play Murloc Paladin are going to be super excited with this expansion.
No, that's one thing, is people really underestimate that card. If you only run 7 Murlocs in your deck and do Murkai with 2 charges, both War Leaders, the 1/3 Murloc, the new legendary one, if you have all the ones, well, really you could... Murgleton, yes.
Murgleton.
If you have all of those, you have a 27 damage burst. if you actually get rid of Murgleton for the new or the Grim Scale and actually run 2 Grim Scales, that's a 30 damage burst.
All right, test that out. Get back to me. Test that out in a few weeks when it comes out and get back to me.
I'm excited too. It's going to be a lot of Murlocs, a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Purple is just running away with this game. This Ysera has gotten 3 turns of value. With that Light Bomb, he has complete control of the board. He's not getting good dream cards, though. With 2 dreams and a Nightmare, Nightmare can be a little more burst. Finally, Brainboy picks up an answer to the Ysera, but that 4-8 body is still going to be there. So a little bit rough. Now, the one thing is Purple's hand is kind of dead, other than the fact that he has, you know, all these dream cards and a couple Shadow or Death. So we'll have to see if he can pick up some more threats in between. Felon's Chosen kind of works.
I don't think this is going to be enough.
Oh, we can just dream back his Ysera and play it again.
And play it again. That's...
I dream. And
now he's just playing with Brainboy. He's just playing with his food.
Now Brainboy top decks another Owl. He just dreams it again. Then he top decks the Spellbreaker, dreams it again.
Top decks Tyrion.
He just says Shadow or Death.
There goes Face.
Reporting for duty. Put your faith in
He's
the
probably
light.
going to dream it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
There's no reason to Shadow or Death, not give your opponent the weapon.
Like, he's already mousing over. He's like, okay, I got this spell ready. Yeah, maybe try and find a better answer to it. Picks up Blackwing Corruptor, too, so he can start applying the pressure. He can just keep dreaming it over and over again because he has another dream as well sitting in his hand. And eventually, he is going to be able to clear off these 1/1s. He knows that he's just playing that long game. He realizes that clearing off these 1/1s is probably going to be beneficial in the long run because of things like corner round. He gets another dream.
Oh my god.
This Tyrion's never going to be able to stay on the
This Tyrion's going to come
board.
down every turn and pop back up, do a little bit more damage, and pop right back up again.
The 3rd time Tyrion gets dreamed, his face is going to look exactly like it does in his picture. That's the face of a man that gets dreamed gets his Tyrion dreamed way too many times.
I have to imagine at this point, Brainboy is just kind of throwing the towel. Or actually, well, this is Conquest, so there's really no point in trying to see your opponent's the extra cards in their deck because once
They won't play it again.
Exactly.
There's actually more benefit if you're losing to hide information. Midrange Paladin is a deck that has information that is hideable. Did he pick up? He got another dream. That's
Get
4
another
dreams.
dream. And he has 2 in hand. This is mean. I think this is lethal though. With the dream, he has the Nightmare. And we see a little bit of BM for Purple, something he's known for.
12+5.
Probably getting on Brainboy's nerves a little bit.
Yeah, he actually had a little bit over lethal too with the Felon's Chosen plus the Nightmare, so.
There we have it. Purple's going to take...
Wow, he actually decided not to go.
Wow. That is BM to the next level.
Put your
He's going to dream it again. He wants him to play Tyrion again.
Just so he can dream it again.
He's got 2 dreams too.
I don't think I've ever seen someone in this high level of tournament purposely miss lethal just so he can do this again.
He got another dream.
This is unbelievable. Purple taking game 1. Is he going to actually finish it this time?
He's going to even Nightmare it, and then he's going to dream his Ysera back to his hand. All right. Well, now he's going to finish it.
Fun's over, Purple. Let's take this game, move on to number 2.
All right. Well, Purple, pretty good performance in game number 1. Takes the win with the Priest. Brainboy's got to see if he wants to keep going with that mid-range Paladin or find something new.
Now, here's the question. Do you think because Brainboy is not someone that we've personally seen or really has ever been in a high-level tournament such as this one, to kind of take offense to that to a point where he might actually be tilted for the following games, start making some mistakes?
I think on the contrary, my friend, Brainboy is a guy that's been, you know, raised in the open tournament era, you know? Play on ladder and then try and make a name for yourself in the open tournament scene. And I played quite a bit of open tournaments, as I know you have as well, and there's a lot of varying degrees of character in those, so I'm sure he's seen a lot more than that. And maybe these guys even play together. I know Purple is a guy that has a lot of practice partners with sort of these more underground players, so who knows? Maybe they've interacted with each other before this match.
So I'm really excited to see how Brainboy handles that much BM. Purple purposely misses lethal.
It's kind of funny, though, because he just wanted to show him that, hey, look how many dreams I have.
Exactly.
It was like 6 dreams, I think.
I could imagine Purple just surrounded by people watching the game right now, just cracking up, being like, let's wait another turn and just show him this last one.
Yeah.
So going into game number 2, it looks like Brainboy has chosen to actually go with his Paladin again. Meanwhile, Purple decided to go with his Druid.
All right, well, this is a pretty decent matchup for Brainboy. Mid-range Paladin tends to do pretty well against Druid, at least more mid-range Druids, which it seems like Purple is, judging by the Big Game Hunter and the Emperor Thor's name.
I gotta say, I have to agree, except we see Darnassus Aspirant and Wild Growth. Those are the cards you want as a Druid, and those are the cards, the ramp, that will allow you to just take over this game from an early position.
If both players have mediocre hands, usually Paladin comes out on top because they can usually trade up their creatures and use a quality later in the game that can pressure hard, but this is a pretty ridiculous opening.
Exactly, and we're going to see a very early piloted Shredder. Purple is willing to use his Innervate, knowing that he has the ability to ramp up in the following turns, and it puts a lot of pressure on Brainboy very, very early on in this game, and I think that's a very heads-up play by him.
Yeah.
Reporting for duty.
Paladins just don't have a way to deal with piloted Shredders this early on in the game. And if they do, a lot of times they have to attack multiple times with Muster for battle. And now Purple has, multiple options here. He can trade with the 1/1 and Wrath. He can play Darnassus Aspirant to start ramping into more stuff. Maybe be able to play Wild Growth plus Wrath the next turn.
So the question is, Wild Growth versus Aspirant. That's a difficult decision.
Versus Wrath.
Versus Wrath.
You don't have anything to ramp into yet.
I like the Darnassus Aspirant, and I imagine he's going to trade into Zombie Chow here.
Yeah.
But he does have to worry just a little bit about Coghammer.
That's very true.
Coghammer is the card that could allow him to clear off a little bit of this board and gain some initiative with it.
Double Chow.
Oh, no.
Hoot hoot.
That's not one that Purple wants to see. But here's the decision, is whether or not he decides to go with Zombie Chow and Hero Power or Alder Peacekeeper and try to get a bigger minion on board.
Zombie Chow and Hero Power seems like it contests more power on the board.
I'd have to agree.
I mean, it's 3/4 worth of stats instead of 3/3 worth of stats.
But here, I think Brainboy, what he's doing with this is he's saying, hey, Purple, if you want to kill this Alder Peacekeeper, you're going to have to use your own Aspirant here.
Or a Wrath.
Or have a Wrath.
Either or.
And Purple draws another one of his ramp cards. This is...
Oh, he Wrath for 1, actually. Okay.
Okay. I guess because he expected to use his Hero Power along with it.
Yeah, but Purple really needs to draw into a creature next turn. Agent of Lore would be perfect. Doctor Doom would be great.
Really, anything but Keeper of the Grove, anything but Darnassus Aspirant, anything but Savage Roar.
Yeah.
He's got a good number of cards that he can draw. And that's one of the ones I don't think he wanted to see.
No, that's an ugly hand.
I'd have to imagine he's just going to use it. Maybe even...
I don't think you can afford to just Hero Power pass on turn 4 as a Druid.
I must save.
So this will actually give Brainboy the option as to whether or not... Ooh. What do you think about this? Instead of silencing it, he used it to kill off the first half of the Shredder, leaving a second half. Let's see what it is.
Pagel!
Pagel? Oh, it doesn't go fishing. He missed.
Still a pretty good outcome. He can kill it the next turn, which it looks like he can.
Oh, Thorson, that's a good one. Perfectly on curve here.
With both Force of Natures in hand as well. That's
a 12 damage.
Decent.
It's a 10 mana, 12 damage burst.
Wow. OP.
Gotta be scared of that one.
It's like a better Pyroblast that doesn't get through taunts.
That requires 2 cards.
That requires 3 cards. 1 to activate.
Oh, yeah.
Reporting for duty.
Best card in the game. Well, Murloc Knight could run away with things, but most likely will just be taken out by one of these Force of Natures here.
Obviously, Purple does want to develop the Belcher here, but I don't think you can afford either trading in both your minions to the Murloc Knight in order to get it off when you have double Force of Nature in hand. He could just completely clear this board off.
Yeah. Very
and I
true.
think that's what he's opting to do.
Yeah, the thing here for Purple, though, is he's not really developing anything big here. He's not putting on a lot of pressure. He's not getting within combo range or anything like that.
Now, here's an interesting thought. Which one of your 2 minions do you trade into the 1/1?
Just a 2/4. I mean, you're not really... What are you playing around?
Well, by trading in the 2/4, you're playing around Consecrate. But by playing the 2/3 into it, kind of a little bit lose to True Silver, taking out the...
Yeah.
Actually, no, this is strong against both.
Yeah.
Spreads out the
'Cause
damage.
Neither gets killed by Consecrate in this situation.
There's a big game
Oh,
Hunter.
no! Doesn't pick up the Innervate, though, so he's not going to be able to use it this turn.
A
And
little too late.
yeah, you need the Dr. Boom right, or you need the big game Hunter right away, or else that Dr. Boom's going to wreak havoc on your board. He's probably going to trade into that Ancient of Lore.
This will be an interesting choice for Brainboy. Do you run the Boombots in to see where those hit? Do you True Silver into the 5/5, use your 1/1 to kill it off, hopefully kill off the other things? And then do you just Juggler Hero Power? Do you Zombie Chow Juggler? Do you Juggler, or do you Zombie Chow Hero Power? This is just so many options here.
Huh. Well, Big Game Hunter's going to get a little more value than I thought it was. And with the creature survive, I mean, that's not a bad deal. And Brainboy decided to take a lot of damage.
That was a mistake.
He's like, uh-oh.
Those Boombots did not go where he wanted to.
Yeah. Once again, Brainboy's pictures, that's the face of the man that's seen way too many bad Boombot explosions.
And now this Sludge Belcher Big Game Hunter is going... Oh,
That's his game!
That's game over. Wait.
Sorry.
That's game over. And
Wow.
Purple with the sorry BM once again.
Oh my goodness. That is nuts.
That
Wow.
will be it. Purple is going up 2-0 against Brainboy. One more and he qualifies himself for the WCA finals in China.
If those Boombots had just hit that Keeper of the Grove, wouldn't have been over. If he had just
either of
not
the
decided
Boombots-
to attack into the Ancient of Lore and just trade in with the Dr. Boom and take the guarantee trades, would have been a different story.
There,
but
there were so many options, and he took a little bit of a risky one. I would
Yeah.
say that it generally had pretty good odds based on
just
how he
needed
went
to kill the
about
Keeper
it.
of the Grove, yeah.
But that's one of the things. You could play the cautious route, which could set you back in an okay position, but he wanted to go for the one that would set him to win the game, and unfortunately came back to punish him and
Yeah.
cost him the game with the Savage Roar top deck there.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many things that had to go wrong for Brainboy and so many things that had to go right for Purple. You'd have the second Force of Nature reduced or Savage Roar reduced, and the other piece in his hand already. Plus the Boombots couldn't kill the Keeper of the Grove, so really rough for Brainboy. Now he's got to climb back from a 2-0 deficit, and that's a tough thing to do, especially since Purple's last deck, I believe, is Druid, which has a lot of opportunities to win with good... Oh, no, sorry. He just won with
He
Druid.
just won with Druid.
His
so I
last
think
deck
he has
is Warrior.
Warrior or
Or was it
Warlock?
Warlock?
We'll check in a second. There it is.
It is
a Warlock. Okay, so Purple does have his Warlock against Druid, Paladin, and Warrior. The question is, what type of Warlock do you think Purple does have?
Probably Handlock. I mean...
Your soul.
I don't think Purple really plays other Warlocks, and it is Handlock, and actually Brainboy's lineup is pretty decent against Handlock, except for maybe the Warrior. He does have Combo Druid. He does have, well, I didn't see the rest of the Druid, but I'm guessing it's Combo Druid still.
Now, if it is Aggro Druid, I would say he has practically a free win, but we do see the wild growths.
Practically a free win.
Like, Aggro Druid against Handlock is, I would say, is almost as one-sided as Freeze Mage against Warrior.
Yeah.
It's just one of those matchups, but fortunately for Purple, it's not that. But at the same time, Brainboy does have Living Roots into Wild Growth into Piloted Shredder, which is a pretty good curve.
2 1/1s on turn 1. How do you deal with it? Double Mortal Coil. That's
There
how
it
you
is.
deal with it. I'd imagine he would just save the next Mortal Coil for the next turn. Actually, I don't even know. He might tap next turn and then tap Mortal Coil the following turn.
That's what But the question is, how really scary is a 1/1? That's not something you really need to be all that worried about. Except if you decide to coin out Twilight Drake, then it will trade it off if he has a keeper. So that could be a reason that he might want to.
Yeah. We should get word that every player that's in the top 4 today is going to China.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're playing for the $12,000 separate North American Open League final. So that $12,000 prize pool.
Okay, so I guess congratulations to all 4 of these players. They will be going to China to play in the WCA finals.
Yeah.
But I guess today is still for a good amount of money. It's
$8,000 for first place.
That's a good payday for one day of Hearthstone.
Big chunk of cash, yeah.
So with the Twilight Drake coming down, unfortunately Brainboy does not have the Keeper of the Grove. How do you think it goes about either answering this or Ghost Face?
When in doubt, hit the face.
What to do?
That's what I've learned.
Now Swipe allows his Shredder to actually trade off with it pretty decently, but Purple does have multiple options. Don't just follow it up with another Twilight Drake, follow it up with a Void Caller, so he would be in kind of an awkward situation there. Mistress of Pain is not going to do all that much.
Nope, not so much.
Especially when you're already at 30 health.
Yeah. You might be able to get a bunch of creatures on the board. He draws Force Nature next turn, Innervate the next turn. Then boom, he just closes up the game. But even then, he still wouldn't win. So looking pretty grim. Needs to find a threat. There's the Force
of Nature. I'd have to imagine he's going to cycle this Wrath, hoping to find something like the Innervate, or preferably something like even better, a Pilot Shredder. There's the Innervate!
The next 2 cards. Are you kidding me? She one had it pre-recorded.
So here's the question. Is Purple greedy? Is he going to go face? How greedy is he?
If he goes face, he loses.
No, I don't think so, because he has the Innervate combo would be 14 plus 6, it'd only be 20, so he'd have to tap and go face.
Okay, he doesn't get greedy. So in reality, that's actually a terrible hand from Brainboy if you're not going to kill your opponent. So, I mean, it looks like Purple might just run away with this one. It's going to be hard for Brainboy to find enough threats to be able to claw his way back. He does have combo, though, so that's always the wild card. If he manages to find one opening, that's all he needs.
And absolutely, and luckily for Purple, he has 3 good options to protect himself from combo. He does have the Sun Fury Protector. He does have the Defender of Argus. He even has the Anti. I just cannot imagine a world where Purple does not take this game.
Yeah, Brainboy's going to have the top decks of his life.
Ancient of Lore into Emperor Thaurissan into double combo.
Into BGH, into Emperor Thaurissan, into Keeper. And we also have to think, these are just slamming back and forth. That's a Dr. Boom. That's a pretty good pickup.
But Purple has a big game hunter.
He does have a big game hunter.
He has everything he needs here.
Yeah.
And I'd have to imagine this is just going to be a big game hunter Defender of Argus. Unless he gets, again, he could get greedy, play down the Void Caller, and then a double combo is an option.
I've got the beast in my sight.
No, he understands that he's in a position where he's not going to lose this game. So he's just going to start hitting phase, not give Brainboy any opportunity to come back into this one.
Yeah.
Wrath is not going to help. He could use combo Innervate Wrath to clear off some of this board, but I don't think. He could actually wipe off the entire board this turn.
Yeah. But then he has nothing left. Absolutely nothing.
Is there any possibility of a good Boombot actually winning him the game somehow this turn? So let's see, he has the Innervate Wrath on the 5-3, 1 tree and Hero Power to kill off the 5-6. That leaves him with 8 damage from the trees, 3 from the Boombot. That was not enough.
Nope.
He might just decide to wipe the board and hope that Purple doesn't have anything and get the top decks of his life.
What to do?
Yeah, I think you have to go for it at this point, because if you don't, you're taking so much damage next couple turns, and then you don't have that leeway of being able to use your hero power as, or sorry, your health as a resource. So he's going to have to go for it now. He's still going to take 5 extra damage.
Clear. So now Purple isn't scared of one combo because it does keep him out of range, especially when he decides to taunt up this Void Caller, which even though he doesn't have a demon on board, Brainboy doesn't know that.
Yeah. Is that a swipe? Oh,
It's a
man.
swipe.
I mean, he can try and swipe, but if that swipe whiffs, he might just be dead. If this Morgana's hiding behind that Void Caller, it's most likely just dead the next turn.
So as we can see, a Wrath, he can play into Wrath for 1 on the 2-3, swipe and Hero Power it down, hope to get some cards to play these following turns. But it's scary. Again, you're right. Even if a Doomguard comes out, there's just nothing Brainboy can do to come back from this.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of the positions where he might have to take this risk.
Looked like he Wrath for 1 on the 2-3. Yep.
There's the Ancient of Lore. That's what he was looking for.
Yes, it was. Picks up Keeper. Picks up Thaurissan.
This Lotheb will shut Brainboy out. Just another Defender of Argus. Keep going face.
Yeah, he even has the Dark Bomb left. I mean, I don't even know if there's a way that Brainboy can live past his turn.
Savage Roar doesn't help at the moment. This is game. There is nothing that Brainboy can do. Purple's going to take this match 3-0.
Even on board, he's just dead. Even if we don't include the Dark Bomb, I do believe.
I wonder. Well
Yep.
played.
Well played comes out.
Well.
3-0. He checks the Void Caller just to, call
Just
his
have
bluff.
fun. Just
Yeah.
Well played.
He's saying, yeah, I taunted up that Void Caller for nothing.
swipe doesn't do it. Can't even innervate hero power after the swipe because that costs 5 mana now.
And the concede comes out, and that means purple takes the series 3-0. That's a pretty quick one. Just after that first one, that was like an hour-long best of 5, you know, back and forth between Chucky and Jason.
Purple doesn't play games. He just wants to get in here, get out, and win.
Yeah, yeah. He had some, you know, like fortunate boombot rolls and that pretty crazy game number 2 where he took the win on, what, turn 7?
Exactly. Or game number 1 where he decides to actually take an extra turn.
Yeah.
Got to give it to him. He wanted to extend this match out a little bit, take a little bit longer.
Yeah, just a little bit. Well, let us know what you guys thought of that match. You can tweet at WCA_America and use the hashtag WCA2015. We always like to hear you guys' thoughts, so make sure you head on social media and tweet at us. But we do still have the finals coming up next, but we're going to have to go to a quick break. It is going to be between Jason and Purple. So don't go anywhere, guys. More World Cyber Arena Open League Finals action continues right after this.
Stay tuned.